well, here we are. June the 5th, I believe. And we got our targa top off. And one side of my window's down. I hope the wind is going to be not blowing in the face of the camera too much. But I haven't made a video in an awful long time, so I thought that's, what the heck, our CFL tonight, our Canadian Football League. First game of the year in Saskatchewan. It's playing Ottawa. Ottawa's here. Not that anybody gives a shit. But anyway, I thought I'd just go for a quick little run. For anybody with a rag top or, a convertible style car, whether they're running or they're driving today, it's not that hot. It's about, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's like 23 or something like that, 23 degrees Celsius. So it's not like it's cold. So I've had the vet out for a couple months, and I've been driving a lot, an awful lot, almost every night, doing a lot of little, cruises, up and down the streets, and having a little bit of fun. Funny hearing the car seems a little bit different, or sounds a little bit different when I got the top off, so maybe it's going to be, louder, softer because of the wind noise, I'm not sure. I've had the odd issue with my OptiSpark, believe it or not. But, 100,000 mile car, that's going to happen. I do have those parts, to put in someday. But, having fun driving around. Last time I took a video, I know it's got to be, up to maybe a little bit more. And all the sticks and all the trees in the ground were just sticks. They had no leaves on them, just branches. So we're at time of day where a lot of people are coming home, and it's beautiful to be able to get outside. And have your wind blowing into the car and everything like that. I think I've got the 3 cameras hooked up. Hopefully the one wire is not totally in the way for the front view. It doesn't appear to be pretty white, so I can't see too much. But nevertheless, it's all good. Just awesome to make a nice little video. It's just, the cars seem so much different, when you got everything open, Give her a little bit of that LT1 exhaust fume. You have your top stored in the back. I've got my transparent top, and it's the same with my white top. You get kind of like reflection off of that in your rear view mirror, so it's kind of a little bit different. Having that extra kind of reflection. But because of the view of the car, you can see you don't need a, you don't have to turn around and shoulder check like this, in a normal car, because the field of view is so good in these cars, right? And it's just absolutely great. Always fun to, you know, to drive around, you know, get to, you know, see some people walking around in shorts and things like that. Also, if you ask me, I'm no Brit, but nevertheless, I can still talk like one. got a lot of sort of tan on me already because I've been outside doing a lot of work, you know, in the yard, you know, working on the vents, you know, all these little things here, scrubbing there, a little polishing here, you know, making sure my floor mats are clean. The only thing I don't like about driving in the open, I'm just going to pull out on the side here for a second. And the reason I'm going to do that is because when I can. Again, I'm going to take my glasses and put my fun specs on. Back off to where we need to go, which is this way. Yeah. So it's awesome. I ran into a problem. Well, it wasn't a problem. You know, I had my wife with me, of course. And we got in the car. This happened a couple of weeks ago. We got in the car, and my damn interior lights would not shut off. They would not shut off, okay? And I had this problem once before when I first got the car. I remember I'd had it for about a week or something like that. It was cold back then, last October. And it was at nighttime, and my wife had forgot her ear pods at work. So I had driven to her work to get her ear pods. I'm pretty sure it was last year. It doesn't matter. And I, you know, come out and turn the car on, and my friggin' interior lights will not shut off. You know, I'm waiting and waiting to say, well, okay, maybe the timer's kind of weird, or what the heck's going on, you know? So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, you know, put it in gear, you know, kind of driving it a little bit in the parking lot there, and the lights are not coming off. So I get to the point where I pull off to the side of the back, or pull off to the side of the parking lot, and I grab my wrench, and I actually undid my battery. I pulled my hood, and I undid my battery, and I waited for, you know, a couple minutes, you know, and I just said maybe something needs to be reset, something in the computer, something or other, I don't know. And then, I turned them on, I plugged the battery back in, and as soon as I plugged the battery back in, the lights immediately turned on. Okay, so I got into the car, and then so, I don't know, I think I closed up the car, locked the doors, and I don't know what I did for just for a very short time. I don't know if I just went off and had a cigarette or what I did, but I came back to the car, you know, and I said, well, maybe, you know, I think that's what it was. Maybe if I'm like away from the car shut the door, be off. Like, you know, I'm in the house kind of thing, whatever. Take the car thing up, you know, it's done for the day. And no, sure as shit, the lights were still on. So anyway, I put the key in the door and open up the door and open up the doors. I get in, and then I have the door open. And I start the car, the door is open. And then I close the car door. night. I went for a ride. My wife, it was clear as night. And I said, "What has happened before? I don't know why it's happening to me again. What's the problem?" So she starts Googling. I said, "Honey, don't Google because, you know what, you're never going to find it, yada, yada, yada. You know, I'm sure it's just some stupid sensor somewhere, you know, whatever." And anyway, so she gets on this forum right away. You know, she doesn't read forums or anything like that. She's just kind of reading what maybe, you know, things like that. Oh, disconnect your battery, you know, make sure your doors are closed, you know, the typical kind of stuff. And then she comes across this one post, and the guy had said, "You open your door with your key. Make sure when you open the door and pull out your key, make sure, like, the key lock is vertical. Don't unlock the door and then just kind of turn the key a little bit and pull it out so the lock is at a different angle." And then I said, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you know, the door lock has got to be vertical or whatever, close to it." So I kind of laughed it off. And anyway, I got out of the car, I grabbed my key, you know what I mean? And I turned the door handle, got in the car, and the lights went off. So there's one for everybody. If you ever have that problem, if your interior lights, if your courtesy lights are staying on for some unforeseen reason that you have no idea, just get out and check the lock that you open the car with and make sure the key is vertical. Now, how's that for a story? Oh, there's my OptiSpark. We had two problems. Now that, when I pulled the car out of storage, I didn't have that problem at all. My OptiSpark did not fail for 2 months. Until just recently, it started a little bit here and there. And, yeah. So I don't know why, you know, why it's started to do that again, but usually it only does it once. You know, occasionally, you know, it'll do it, you know, twice. You know, but it usually always starts immediately back up. And then there's times where I have to sit for 5 or 10 minutes. You know, I try cranking it. If it doesn't crank right away, this car cranks very quick. You just whip, ding, and that's all it takes. It's just one little quick start on the starter. It's not like, you know, it's not like that at all. It only makes that sound if the OptiSpark is failing, right? So if it doesn't start in 1 second, I just turn the starter off and just wait for a few more minutes, and away I go. And that's kind of like been the situation up to now. See, I go away and it starts blipping. I always got something to talk about. What else happened? Oh yes, I know in one of my other videos I was talking about my hood release. Under there, it had no tension on it, and I had to, you know, take all that shit underneath there out. I think you've actually made a video of it, put it on YouTube, you know, about what I did. And at the very end of that video, I know, probably, you know, when a chance to really see that, it's probably one of the silly, but it doesn't matter. But to make a long story short, at the end of that video, the way that housing mounts up in there, there's two little pricks that go into those metal brackets and push us forward. And at the back of that square bracket that's got your pulley on it, there's a screw that screws up into this metal brace that's under there. Well, you can't get the screw in no matter what you try. You know, you can't get it in there. So, because there's another long story. Anyway, I ended up like gluing trying a different type of glue scooped the shit out of it on there, sprayed it, and so and I did get the screw up there, and I did get it to turn, and I did get the latch to hold, because the latch had kind of fallen off, because obviously it gets loose. That's why the screw is there. So then, I got that, but now, because I had all that CA glue that's, sort of glued onto that little latch down there, as soon as I pull the screwdriver off, the screwdriver comes off, but all that glue with that, funny CA glue, it's round and it's fit that particular screwdriver. Now that'll still be on that latch somewhere. So it's just another story to tell. But yeah, that latch did finally let go because I couldn't get the screw in. And I fucked around for a long time. Believe you me, a long time, and I could not get it to work. Yeah, and okay. The other issues that I've had with the car, not really, other than I think my heating problem is my blend door thingamajiggy that's under the passenger side. So I got to take my fuse box sort of semi out of there. The panel that's below the airbag. Got to take the air vent system out of there. Then I got to rip whatever I got to do. And then yeah, I'm trying. And from what I understand, I've only seen one video. Blend door attenuator, I think it's called. I've only seen one video where a guy took it out. I'm not sure if he had a different Corvette, a different year. I'm not sure if his was mine is a 94. I think his was maybe in the late 80s, like 88 or 89, something like that. So there, you can get them. You can get them on. What do you call it? On Amazon. But they make two, and one's called blend door actuator HVAC, HVAC, and the other one's just a blend door activator heat something or other, whatever, something like that. The HVAC one is $60. The other one is $100. Now I'm gonna have to take. I don't know which one to get. I don't know what HVAC is. My dash panel, if you see it on here, it's not where the ones where I can sort of press the buttons and get all the codes, right? I just have your temperature, your cool, your fan, and these buttons. That's all. I don't have that fancy little LED display that's on mine. And I noticed that some Corvettes do, like 94s. So I don't know what the deal is with any of that, why some do and why some don't. But that's the way it is. So I'll have to take all that stuff off there and pull it out, and then hopefully I can just match it up to look at the diagram. They both look almost completely identical. But I know that the guy that was putting his in had a hard time getting it in. He had a hard time getting it back. But there's some sort of a plastic sleeve that sticks out of the thing. I don't know if it's round or if it's square or what it is. But he was having a problem being able to attach that to the existing whatever that's supposed to attach to. And I think he ended up taking the two apart. And I don't know if he ended up using a different part or something, but I think he somehow ended up turning that part or something. That for whatever, maybe that controls like when you're moving you're adjusting your heat or moving your doors, to go into cycle. something as simple as, sort of get it up there, slide your doors until it actually hooks up. But I won't know until I physically get there. So sort of ended up on the ring road. I really didn't want to because it's at that time of year that a fucking bugs stuff is splat all over everybody. I hate wiping the bugs off of the window. I really do. Anywhere on my car. And because of that bug. But I was more or less talking rather than paying attention a little bit. Just gonna get on this busy road. Cars driving home. But a lot of these guys, could be, coming home from university or whatever the case might be, but nevertheless, a lot of traffic. This guy's sucking on some kind of a freezy. Which is kind of nice. I wanted to see if I could get downtown, or not downtown, get down to it. It only looks like there's one location in this town that seems to sell sugar-free Slurpees or something like that. I just kind of figured out how to do that. I can get one because my wife have sugar-free stuff. She's diabetic. If I can get up to Albert Street there and get to that store, it's a gas station. Maybe I could surprise her at home with the what street is this? I can't tell. I'm not sure if this is Parliament Boulevard. I've lived here all my life, minus just a few little, times when I didn't. When I was young, just did a couple other little jobs and stuff. Me and my wife, but yeah. I've always been in the shits with a map. Like looking at maps, this street, that street, this street, that street. I hate looking at maps. I was happy with the first GPSs came out. It was like, I now knew how to make it home kind of thing. Like, so old. It's just fucking ridiculous, My wife says, how can you, and she's from a smaller town, but she moved here when she was 16. She says, how can you live here all your life and not know where it is? So you know what? Baby, all you have to care is that you gotta love me. That's all it is. And the air quality right now, because north of us we've had like tons of wildfires in Alberta and in Saskatchewan as well, because I'm in Saskatchewan. Up in Canada, we've had so many wildfires. I think there's like 160 major wildfires that are out of control. And the air control, you know, we get warnings and stuff on our phone. Just last week, you know, for 2 or 3 days, they were at the max, so they just say stay indoors, do not go outside, right? Unless you have to. Here's that. This is not where I want to be. Yeah, that's not where I want to be. Straight. Try not to get to the rest of this school zone. Because I got a $250 ticket one time coming home from McDonald's, because I went through, I was driving 40 kilometers and 30 kilometers, so got caught on camera. Bastards. I hate that kind of technology, right? You should have some cops should have to be there with his radar, you know, if we want to keep on checking, you know, but they use automation for everything, right? Doesn't cost them anything. They put up the goddamn camera, you know, it just sends back the data. You know, that sucks. Too much automation, you know, and then somebody loses a job because they got a guy, or they got a camera that does that for you, right? Okay. So this here is 23rd Avenue. So it's actually very close to where that Slurpee I can't remember what kind of gas station it is. It's a co-op. I think it's a co-op gas station. I can see I got a little guy here. Got a little ladybug coming for a ride with me, but he'll probably fly up when I'm driving and I'll swallow. But that would not be nice for the ladybug anyway. Yeah, so the routes that I'm taking, they're not that busy. You know, kind of taking these back-ish kind of roads. Try to get around to where it is that we're trying to go. Can't see 100 feet in front of you. It's just so slow. It's just insane. Just 23rd. Actually, maybe before I do that. Just give a quick little jaunt through the park. Nice motorbike. guys, you know, the Chargers, whatever they got, or Camaros, and some of the newer Mustangs, stuff like that. I see some new vets, a couple of C5s. I only saw one other C4 in here one time. It was just parked, and I've never seen it since. A lot of workers walking around. Yeah. It's just nice to get a daytime drive. Daytime. Water, you know. Kayaks are starting to get out already. I see a lot of kayaks out here. A lot of times just kayak racing and stuff like that. What's the matter, Mitch? Would you like water sports? Don't forget to get them behind the ears. Oh, that's funny. Yep. Kids. Ladies walking with families, you know, they got 5 kids, you know what I mean? Little kids, all that shit. I don't know how anybody can afford that today, you know, with the price of food the way it is. You know, how does anybody afford, you know, one child? You know, my wife, you know, she'll go to the grocery store, you know, come out. You know what I mean? She'll say, yeah, I spent $300. You call me. I said, oh, okay, well, that's good. Then she'll come home. She's got 2 little bags, right? And say, where's the money? Where's the food? You know? The sun's kind of behind a cloud right now, so. Let's see if we can get up to the co-op. Pause for alcohol. You know, something like that. Pause for alcohol. Yep. Nice. So you can see, I think the streets would be maybe a little bit busier because, you know, the game in town tonight, right? First game of the season, so I'm not sure how many fans are going to be there, but a lot of time there's 20,000, 30,000 fans there, so that's a lot of people. Hopefully you're going to be able to start moving here momentarily. Right? People wearing their jerseys. Yeah, I love the sound of that car a little bit outdoors. You hear that? Sort of entrapped in here, you know. Sounds good, but I sure like the sound of it, you know, and if you hear more coming, you know, resonating outside of the car. And I hope I can get that Slurpee. I did that last 2 nights. And I said to the guy, like, you know, what's the deal? Oh, we're cleaning our Slurpee machines, you know. Well, and I don't get it because they got 35 other Slurpee machines there, you know, with every kind of flavor, but the one that they have that's sugar-free, it is not working. You're cleaning the Slurpee machine. Okay, well, that's about 2 days. We'll see how true that is. C5 convertible. That's what it looked like. Might have caught that through your camera. If it's on, I hope it's on. But it's probably not because I got a lot of traffic in this one right here, so it was moving off to the side, so I don't think you're going to catch that. But you never know. Gas station very soon. Man, there's a lot of... You wonder how all these businesses even stay open. You know? All the, you know... all the stores, you know, everybody buys everything online. Electronics and stuff like that. Well, sometimes I go to Best Buy, but I don't like to shop around. I go from this place to that place, from this place to that place. I pretty much buy everything online. Absolutely everything. If your guys' sugar-free Slurpee thingy is working?
Oh, what thing?
Your sugar-free Slurpee?
Maybe. I'm not too positive.
Okay. Could you maybe check? Because that's like a couple of the last 3 days and it hasn't been. That's why I came. So
I can buzz into it now.
Yeah. Buzz into mask. Fucking lazy. I bet you it's not.
Said no, sorry.
Still not working. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yep, sorry. Have a good one.
Yep. Motherfuckers. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pause it here. Oh, look at that. The sun came up. Okay, well, we just want to pull off to the side here. You know, I do them. They're gonna tell me, no, it ain't working. No, it ain't working. It's not working. So whatever. I'll just, yeah. I'll sign this video off here today. Thanks for hanging with me. It's nice to kind of get the car, around the roof. Get a couple, shots, the different angles. It's kind of nice to do that. So, anyway, on behalf of myself and my beautiful family, rock on.